Let's welcome in the beautiful Emily Separovic. Did I say that right?
Almost.
Oh, Separovic. Yes,
Yeah.
I had in my head. I knew, you know how you like almost structure yourself to failure as you can for like success. It's like,
Yeah.
don't say that word. It's exactly how I'm going to say it. Separovic.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, awesome intro to start with anyway. And this beautiful soul is a gut health and wellness mentor and helps people just generally everyday journey through self-love, weight loss, and gut health. And I think like a lot of my listeners and viewers will be finding that all of this stuff is interconnected. And, you know, there's a lot of the content that's out there that's the same, but it's the way that Emily delivers it that, you know, draws her clients to her. And I'm really interested in the story behind what got you into the work you do, because I can see that you're also a mama to a beautiful little boy as well. So why don't you just start by introducing yourself and the story behind what really pushed you to be so passionate about the work that you offer?
Okay, so I am a gut health and weight loss wellness mentor. So really, to be completely honest, I was thrown into it. It wasn't something that I initially wanted to do. So since I was 16, I've been in retail, worked my way up to store manager. I worked for a company called Supre, if you're not aware. And then once I left Supre, I got offered a manager's position at Colette by Colette Heyman. So that's a handbag and jewelry store. And that's where I've been basically to 2 years ago. And my parents actually started this whole weight loss and wellness business. So my dad initially worked FIFO, 4 weeks on, 1 week off. And my mum did this mentoring. And I was a bit interested, but I was like, oh, I don't have time, you know, like I work full time, 5 days a week, 38 hours. I don't have time for it. And then my mum was able to bring my dad home from FIFO because it just went crazy. Like she just helped so many people, and it's amazing to see, like she's helped probably over 100 people on weight loss and gut health. And it was amazing. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like I love helping, but that's why I loved retail, because I loved helping people. I loved that connection you can have with your customer when they walk in. And so that's why I stuck with retail for so long. And then my mum and my dad sat me down. They're like, oh, would you like to do it? Like we've put your name in the business as such, and we're wondering if you want to do it. And I was like, cool, maybe I'll just go casual first. And let me tell you, it is not a business you can go casual in. You're either all in or all out. So basically, fast forward, I fell pregnant to my son, with my son, I should say. And I was like, oh, that's real good.
Oh, that's not right.
But yeah, fell pregnant with my son. And I thought, oh, I don't want to do retail once I've had him. I did not want to think about the fact I will put him in daycare, go to work my 9 to 5, and get to miss out on basically everything that he does in a day. So I thought to myself, oh, what should I do? Like weighed out the pros and cons. And I was like, nah, this is a no-brainer, to be honest. I will jump in and I will. So the company we initially work with is called FAT. So PHATT. And it represents putting health at the top.
Oh, wow.
So basically, as I said, I got pushed into it, and it is the best thing that's ever happened to me. If the only advice I would have is I wish I did it sooner, because I get to help so many people every single day. And it's not just one particular person. It is so many different souls and personalities and weights and heights. And, you know, you don't think about that until you meet all these people who have, say, someone might have 30 kilos to lose, but somebody may have 5, and they both want to do this weight loss program for their self-love, their confidence, the benefits of life. They're like, for a bigger person as such, they need to do it for their health, really.
Absolutely.
But then say, like, I've done my program, because you can't do it without, you can't express if you've not done it yourself. So I've done it, and I've never been a big person. I've always been small. I'm only 5 foot. My frame is quite tiny, but I did it to change my eating habits. I did it for my gut health. Once you start that, your skin changes, your mood changes, you sleep better. And we can't say it changes it, because only you will know that. But for us, we can say it will support it. It's going to benefit. And I can say that, hand on heart, it helped me immensely. And that's why I wanted to help everybody else. Simple as that. I wanted to help everybody else. And, you can't help everybody. Not everybody wants to be helped. But the ones that I have helped has been like life-changing for me. Not just for them, but for me. Like, I get to be on this journey with them.
And the amazing thing there, Emily, too, like, you remember where you came from with that, in terms of, you can't help everyone. Your parents have been there the whole time saying, get along, jump on board. And we can do that to people. But when you start convincing people to come across, that's when it comes from a lack of authenticity. When you're just there and people kind of slide into your life via like infusion or osmosis, it's like, be the example, and people will be drawn to you because they're seeing that, you are getting the effect. You're not just selling a product. And this is why I love network marketing as well. When you break out of being bound by an organization's time, structure, and money, you can actually then express yourself with, a product that other people might be selling, but it's you who's selling that particular thing. And it's like, it's got a story behind it. It's not just, oh, this has hyaluronic acid in it, this has collagen, sounds like a good idea, but I don't take it. It's like, I'm taking this every day. So like, what I also loved, and something that I love pointing out for people too, is that there's a real mental conditioning that, I don't have time to do that. You've been there, I've been there. I don't have time to fit that in. And it's like, if you don't make time, you will never have it. And so like, if you don't try starting to either like take one shift less and put your time into something else, or go, okay, so Supray isn't really where I want to be. Colette isn't really where I want to be, but how determined am I? Can I come home from there and work until like midnight, putting the work into network marketing before I transition? Because I can sure as hell tell you, a lot of people don't make the cold turkey cut like me. I'm very much I'm going to figure it out. I have to cut everything off. But a lot of people need to experience it enough for themselves that it is going to work. And you were fortunate enough in the sense of, you saw you saw your parents, and you saw how they were actually successful. They were real people. And that's why I love bringing people like yourself on here to show Emily is a real person. She lives in Perth. She,
I'm not fake.
You're not fake. She's done it.
Yeah.
She's shown her progress. She's got her story. It's just another human getting by in life. And I love that, you said it's not for the faint-hearted, and it's not like, oh, you sit around all day doing nothing, but it's the fact that your job is now a lifestyle. It's not something you go 9 to 5 to go, I can't wait till I finish that. You might work 9 to 5 in your business, but you're living it as well. So I think that's something super cool. I'd love to know like what the structure of your day looks like now. And yeah.
Well, I can't tell you a structure, because being a mum,
of course,
it can go upside down in 2.5 seconds. It's ridiculous. But we do have a morning and night routine. So for me, we both get up together, me and my son. My partner goes to work very early. And mind you, I make him take all the products as well. Perfect. Because if I'm not taking it, like, because in Australia's regulations, you cannot take a couple of the products whilst breastfeeding. Mm-hmm. And as I was breastfeeding my son, I wasn't able to take a couple of the products. So I was like, to my partner, Peter, I was like, well, you're my guinea pig for this new product that's come out. You got to try it, please, for me. Tell me the pros, the cons about it. And then now, so my son's 12 months now. So my goal was to breastfeed for 12 months. So I've hit that goal and we've stopped breastfeeding. So now I'm able to jump on the bandwagon to try all these new products that I've been waiting to try.
Yes.
And like you said, I've got to, show what I'm doing as well. And every morning I will post on my Instagram and my Facebook story that I am taking our little, what we call goop, which is a mixture of a couple of things. And I take my shape, which is the collagen and the HA. And I will post about it every single morning because I'm going to show that I'm also on this journey just as much as the people I am mentoring. But anyway, back to it. My son and I wake up together. We have breakfast together. I do my recording of my group and my shape whilst he's watching his little cartoons. And then we have breakfast together, and whatever the day has planned, I am very structured, but since having my son Luca, that's gone out the window, and I no longer am a very structured person. But I've learned to love that because children are inevitable. I could wake up and he could be an absolute blessing, or I can wake up and he could just chuck about 10 million tantrums and that's my day done. But the whole point about, network marketing as such, and not working a 9 to 5, working from home, I'm able to be like, okay, I don't need to rush home. I don't need to worry about what's going on around me. I am able to be present with my son.
Yeah.
And, everybody gets scared of the title network marketing. Totally. Like it's a MLM scam. It's a, all that kind of stuff. And I think about it, and I was that person. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a network marketer. I don't want to be in this pyramid scheme, Mm-hmm. And when I thought about it, I was like, hang on, we've got this switched around. A 9 to 5 is really a pyramid scheme, because I was a store manager. Mm-hmm. I started as a casual. Then I earned my way up to like a key holder of the store where I could open and close if the manager was sick. And then I worked my way up to store manager. And then I stopped. There was a state manager who loved her job. She wasn't going anywhere. And then there was the boss above her. And then there was the CEO. And I'm not making any more.
What does that make?
Yeah, a pyramid. And I was not making any more.
Yeah.
Now I can make what I want, when I want. I can work where I want. I can work when I want. Say my son's sick, I can stay home and I can be with him. And the income is uncapped. Like totally. I said, I can earn what I want. And there's no, I can't earn as much as you because you're above me. Hell no, I can earn more than you if I wanted to. I'm grateful and I'm very, very lucky that my parents are my upline. So if I need anything, I can go to them. But I can be like, hell no, I'm going to earn more than you.
And the thing there as well, like, I think why a lot of people can get fearful of like pyramid schemes or network marketing is that there's a lack of education around it. And there's no excuse now to not educate yourself on it, like self-education and uncapping your limit. YouTube, literally, like if I'm
like podcasts.
Yeah,
there's like so many options out there.
There's real people he's amazing. But yeah, it's just so cool that like that is an option for, like you said, your day is unstructured. And like interestingly, out of that question, comes to so many people who, if you don't have kids and you love structure, sure, you can structure your day around, when you post, when you 100%. Contact. But for the mamas out there, or for people you know, who have a very irregular kind of day and week, you can still fit it in. You're doing that with a kid. Like that to me is just like goddess level of, you know, being able to do that in between. Like I honestly think any mum, any mother, like the ability to birth a child and raise it is just like warrior. And sometimes I don't think it gets acknowledged.
Being a mother is a full-time job.
It is.
I'll give it that.
Totally. And yeah, it's just like, it's so cool to have that. Like I would, on a different level, I would love to know what your journey of, I know you said you've got a tiny frame and you've always been fairly little, but has there been any conditioning like around weight loss that you've had to move through, or weight in general? Like maybe even when you had bub to post bub to going, my body doesn't feel right, my body looks different, or has it mainly been through learning with your clients? I'd love to know that.
No, so when I first started my company Fat, I maybe wanted to lose a couple kilos, but it wasn't drastic. But I definitely did it for the gut health side. Sure. But having Luca, my son, you go from having this wonderful, well, what I now know was wonderful frame of mine that I took for granted back then now. And they say, you know, I don't want, like, no shame for the people who love their bodies out there, but when you have, for most 90% of women who have had a child, they don't like their body afterwards. Yes, we've carried this wonderful child, we've birthed and we've nourished and everything in between this wonderful child in our belly. Our body is just not the same. And your brain is so used to the body before that the body now, you can't relate to it. You look yourself in the mirror and you don't realize it's yourself. And that's what happened to me. So I'm very raw and honest. So I will say I did suffer really badly from postpartum depression. And it's one of that, for me, I just comfort ate because I suffered so bad and I had a baby peak COVID. So as soon as I had my child, my partner was only allowed in the birthing suite for 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon. And then when we came home, the only people who got to meet my child were our family. And I was okay with that at the beginning because my mum and my dad live 4 minutes away from me. So for me, that was really easy. They could pop over when they needed. But then it was like, I was just stuck in this house once my partner went back to work after 2 weeks, and I didn't know what to do. Essentially, like I had this child and I loved him so much that I was scared. And for me, having postpartum depression, I didn't, what's the word? Like, I didn't realize to begin with. I've always been somebody who has suffered depression and anxiety, and postpartum depression is completely different.
Yes.
It is on a different scale. And for me, I'd comfort ate, to be honest. I didn't really want to say anything because I didn't want people to think I was weak and say, well, you've just carried this child, you know, like you should be happy. But no, postpartum depression is real. And it's not spoken about enough. And it's why I'm even more passionate now about doing my business, because I want other mums to know that it is real and it's okay. And that's why I focus more of my business around wanting mums to join me and help me guide them onto a journey of self-love. And for me, after I had Luca, obviously I breastfed for 12 months. And for me, that was the best and worst thing I ever did, because I loved it so much, but then I forgot about myself. I was so focused on feeding my child that I just wasn't focused about myself. And I gained a bit of weight. I lost all my baby weight instantly, but then I gained it back. Well, I didn't gain all of it, but I gained a lot of it back. So since I've stopped breastfeeding, I have slowly been transitioning back into the program, and I can already see a change. And for me, that's where I'm like, okay, you know, like I can do this again. I've done it before, I can do it again.
Yes.
But I feel like also you can't, and this goes to, you know, mentoring, you can only tell somebody so much. If they tell you they want to lose weight, okay, I will help you lose weight. I will guide you to lose weight, but you've got to do the work. And that's what I try push is I'm doing the work. I'm, you know, showing everybody that I'm taking my group every day. We have a group, we have 2 groups on Facebook. One is the major one for fat. It's called Healthy Living. And the second one is just myself, my team, my mum, her team, etc. We're all in one group called Total Body Transformation. And that's where we put all our mentees in, and they can all talk. They share meals, they share what they're doing for the day, how much weight they've lost. You know, we're such a motivation. And, you know, but I say to people, you can't, if you're not going to do the work, I can't help you. There's only so much I can say. There's only so much advice I can give. But if you're not willing to put the work in, I'm not you. I can't magically say you've lost 20 kilos, go buy yourself a new dress. I can't say that. And I wish I could for some people, you know, because you feel so horrible that they want to love themselves so much and they can't because they don't like the way they look. But yeah, I feel like they've got to put in the work. And by me doing that now, being able to, I feel like it's really reciprocating now to be able, the people I'm mentoring being like, okay, well, she's doing it now. She's doing the work, and so can I.
Yes. And I'm sure you see that it's not about the weight loss. Like, yes, to a degree in some of the health, like, but there's always some other element of like, you know, where has that story come from? And they want to get their mind in a space where their body can go, I'm happy, so my body's gonna not want to eat that, or my body's gonna want to move. So the pain point of getting them to join you is not you going, come on, come on, come on, you have to do it, you have to do it. It's like the pain point has to be bad enough for them. Like, you know, unfortunately for a lot of people, that can be an extreme crisis point where they're so overweight that they can barely move their body or whatever it is. But, you know, a lot of people, like, you don't get overweight overnight. And that's the thing that,
No, that is,
yeah, like, and it's like success or failure. It doesn't happen overnight. It's practice, and it's surrounding yourself with people like yourself and your mum and your team that you invite people into. That's like, hey, this person's done the same thing, and oh, I just connected with this mum who's got a similar story to me, so they chat, they share stories. And you know, it's this building community of like, it really is endless. And like, even what we're doing now, the fact that we're able to connect right now and chat, and me not having found you through being on your product or anything like that, is just, again, it's like network marketing in a way without calling it that. Like, we're all connecting all the time anyway. And if we can get past the terminology, like in anything that we use, we can really work together as a team to, you know, move people towards the best version of themselves. And yeah, I think it's really amazing that you took the leap of faith to go, you know what, like, I'm gonna do this. And it's really cool.
I think, like you said before, a lot of people don't have the education of network marketing. So for me, it's more like, you know, I would love for people to come join my team, but people around my age have got that network marketing mind frame where they're like, no, I don't want to do that. That's a scam. I'm like, but hello, I'm doing it. Hello, I'm over here. You know, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But for me, and that was my main struggle to begin with, to be completely honest with you, I didn't want to jump into it. And everyone, like people I know, say, why is she doing network marketing? Why is she doing that pyramid scheme? Who is she? Like, blah, blah. I had these, like, all these people in my head saying, you can't do that. That's not normal. And I thought, you know what? Stuff them, to be completely honest. This
Because
is my
their
life.
story, so when we think of our stories of why we were skeptical, I hadn't ever experienced doing network marketing, but I thought it was a scam. But I was, it's like the Brene Brown, and we're not in the arena. So it's like choosing the people that you're doing battle with, like listening to the fears of your friends or family or whoever it is. And it's like, but are you in the game? Like, am I choosing to listen to someone who's never done it? Or am I choosing to listen to the people who are actually succeeding and looking at their strategy? Like, everything has strategy. Everything's been done before. We just need to be finding the people that we want to duplicate their success. Because literally, we're all just little humans trying to duplicate success with our own little bodies and our way of telling our message. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's like, for me, I've got this, mind frame of, I want to leave a legacy for my son, my future children that I plan to have, and their children, and for me, that's network marketing, because it's an income that is uncapped. It's an income you can choose to make. It's time that's endless.
Yeah.
So as long as they know I can do it, then they can do it. And for me, that's when I thought, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. They don't know at the end of the day how much money I'm making. They don't know how much time freedom I get. They're going to an office to do a 9 to 5, come home and be depressed about how much they hate their job.
Yep.
When I'm loving life, I get to stay home with my son all day.
Yes. And the more you do what you do and educate, people will go, I really should try and, jump onto this thing. And it could be like 10 years later that someone joins, but it doesn't matter. You've made your legacy. You've made your point. Like, yeah.
That's it. And I think for me, if somebody is, sitting on the fence and they don't want to tell anybody, go listen to Fraser Brooks, go listen to Jessie Lee Ward. Those two people, male and female, are incredible. Like, Jessie Lee Ward is the most raw, realist person you could meet. She does not give a flying about anything.
Yeah.
She will say how it is, whether you like it or not.
Perfect.
And yet she is beyond. Like, we had a training with her a few weeks ago now in our team. And it's just like nugget after nugget after nugget after nugget. She just I can't even explain it.
I will look her up. I haven't heard of her. Yeah.
She is a wealth of knowledge, and she's not somebody everybody can vibe with.
Yes.
Because she's her persona of Boss Lee is what she calls herself over, camera, and when she's associating with people is very out there. That's why I said she doesn't care. She doesn't care what anybody thinks about her. She's making money at the end of the day. She's number one in her company. She's, one of the most incredible entrepreneurs in the world. And she's not losing sleep at night for the people that hate her. She gets trolls every single day.
It's it honestly is like the transitioning of life before network marketing and into it. And I think the greatest gift of it is getting to the point where all of the people that I admire as well, like, Gary Vee as well, like he's an extremely amazing entrepreneur, and they aren't going to be everybody's cup of tea. But what I do love about them is their intensity, but their ability to truly embody not caring what people think. And all of us, I feel like all of us are really wanting to move to that place of like, I don't care what you think, but you still might care about, like, a bit self-conscious. And it's like the more we put ourselves in uncomfortable action and uncomfortable situations, the more we're going to grow in ourselves. And like, to think that you're doing that now at the beginning of your son's life, like what he will see you model and the way that he will act in the world, I just think, that is such an incredible gift for any parent. And just in terms of like educating people right from the beginning, it's amazing.
Well, for me, I thought before, if I didn't have my son, I probably would still have that itty bitty shitty committee in my head saying you can't do it. Everybody's thinking about you, and everybody's going to be talking about you. But like you said, for me, I'm my son's model. He's looking up to me, and if I'm caring about what people are saying about me for me to step forward in my business, what is that teaching my son? That's teaching him to hold back. And I want him to be the most vibrant and outspoken person, because that's not what I was when I was younger. I've always suffered from anxiety. And, you know, if you asked me to do this podcast even a few months ago, maybe even last year, I probably would have said no.
Yeah.
Because I would have had that voice inside my head saying, she's just, you know, asking you for the hell of it. She doesn't want to listen to what you really do. And fast forward, and for me, it's like, no, I can do this. Don't listen to those people.
But the person is you in the end, isn't it? Like it's your own, those people are just triggers of the voice that you're already telling yourself about yourself, right? Like they're just voicing it and putting it in a human form of like, oh, you just said exactly what I was thinking, and you reiterated that doubt or that fear, and it's like, oh yeah, it must be true. Yep. So you start looking for people to validate it and go, oh, there's a million people like me. Like, why would she get me on? And there's so many more better people. And it's like, but there's no you. There's no you with your story.
There is only one you.
Right. And
whether my story isn't as like horrible and sad as everybody else's, but my story is my story, and your story is your story.
Yep.
And
for sure.
That's just life. We don't always all have a sad story. We don't always have a challenging story. You know, there is some challenges in my story which I purposely don't tell, because, you know, that's me probably worrying about what people think. But at the end of the day, you know, everybody has a story, and maybe one day I will tell people. But in this generation, if I told my story, that part of my story, it's like, oh, well, you know, her partner was bad. Her life is now bad. You know, and my partner did some mistakes, and I stuck by him through those mistakes. And now we have a beautiful son. He's changed his life. And for me, that's even more of a push. Like my goal for my partner and I is to get him home from work. Like he's just doing another apprenticeship to get another trade behind him just because. But for me, I would love him home every day. He leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning and comes home at 5 o'clock at night. Like he's just getting home now, and it's 4:45 in Perth. You know, like that's what kind of day is that? We get to FaceTime him at lunchtime so he can see our son. But I would love for him to be home with me and working this business with me, because we both have different stories, but we both connect it as one story, because, you know, we both went through a harsh time together that made us even closer.
Yeah.
So
I feel like
sorry,
keep going.
No, I just wish that more people would have, you know, willing to learn and educate themselves about network marketing, because at the end of the day, that's why I'm doing it, to bring my family home, to bring my partner Peter home from work so he can work with me whenever we want, how we want. We can show our son that this is an incredible life. You don't have to go to a 9-to-5 and slave for somebody else. You're making bottom dollar whilst the CEO is making millions. Wouldn't you want to be your own CEO? Make your own millions?
Amen. And even people in the manager position, the CEO position, when you're working for someone else, there comes a time where there's a limit. You're limited by, you know, if you chose to buy into that business, that's a different story. But position wise, like in a job, like that is for some people. There has to be a mix of people. There has to be the us of the world. There has to be the ones who, you know, want to work for other companies because we need employees and all of that kind of stuff. It takes a village to make the world and all of that kind of side of things. But I think the biggest thing is so many people in it just don't feel like they have another way. And most people would like to be home from their work with their partner. The thing that we're all learning here, and we've just undergone another Tony Robbins event, Wealth Mastery, and it's like,
love Tony Robbins.
So amazing, girl. We'll have to catch up in person for a coffee or something.
That's
and
great.
yeah, like just, learning that true wealth is, when I think about it in terms of holistic health and wealth and all of that, like wealth is holistic, and it means you don't have to work, you get to work, right? Like, your partner doing the trade, he doesn't have to do that. He's choosing, like, oh, I woke up today and I want to do like 16-hour days, go for it. But if you had to quit today, you can. And it's having like the power of choice when you reach that limit of like financial freedom or absolute financial freedom, and stepping your way towards there. And really, I think it'd be awesome to work with your partner if, you do have a different story. And you would draw in different clients as well.
Of course, yeah. And, you look at my partner, he's head to toe in tattoos. And some people look at him and they're like, oh God, like he's a bit scary. But he is the most like teddy bears, in a geek you could meet. And, that's what happens when, at sight, people judge him quite quickly because he is covered in tattoos. But for me, he's just like this big teddy bear. And when you get to know him, he's not really big, actually. He's not just a little bit taller than me, but he's a huge teddy bear. Like he just loves endlessly. And I feel like he would be such an asset in this company because he doesn't realize it, but he can chew an ear off a donkey. He can talk and talk. And when he's passionate about something, he just will go full force.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he is doing another trade, because he becomes, the thought of being dedicated to something, once he puts his mind to something, he'll do it. And because we do have different stories, and coming as one, it would just make such a difference in this company. And, like I said, people look at him and they wouldn't think that, he's a nice person, because, the whole judgmental of, you're covered in tattoos, you're instantly, a bikie or a different kind of person. You're not nice really. But, and I come to learn that, you shouldn't, and like I said before, you shouldn't worry about what people think, because at the end of the day, if I get to have my partner home creating this incredible business together, where we get to help people on the daily, that, there's a lot of mental health in men that they're too afraid to speak up, then that's where my partner can be like, well, hey, look, people judge me
his story
by a book. They look at him and they're like, okay, we'll judge a book by its cover. And that's where I think my partner is also a bit skeptical about coming into the business, because, he's not like every other social marketer but I'm like, that's the point.
That is, and
be like everybody else. You need to be your own person. And the people who are afraid to speak up about their weight, their health, that are men, right, you can bring them in and you can help them, and you can show them that it's not just for this person, and it's not just that person, or it's not for somebody who doesn't have tattoos, because that's all a lot of people judge about. That, he can do it, he can help more people. And that's where I am really, my goal for me, which is not even for me, it's to get my partner home so he can help those people who aren't ready to speak up. And I have a lot of people come to me and say, Emily, I don't want to be in the Facebook group. I don't want to be in this, and I don't want to be at that, because I don't want people to know I'm doing this. And I thought to myself, these are the people I will put my time and effort into, because yes, I want them at the end of it to be like, hey, guess what? I lost this amount of weight and I am feeling fabulous. I am feeling 100. Amazing. And this is what I did. And I wish I told people from the beginning.
And like, when you were saying like your partner's like covered in tattoos and all of that kind of stuff, it's kind of like the word network marketing in an analogy is your partner covered in tattoos. Like, people kind of look at the word network marketing and go, holy shit, that looks scary. Not even going to try and start a conversation with that. But you give it a big old hug and you're like, this is amazing. Like, I love hugs.
They don't realize. And you wish you could shake them and be like, just hello. It's incredible.
And the more
and the
passionate
people
you
you
get,
learn from.
yes. Oh, there's so many things. And like, it isn't for everyone, but it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you can't talk to friends just because you're doing this or they don't accept the invitation for you to come and join on. We only ever share things because we get excited. But, I learned a little while ago, like I'm a very excitable kind of person. I love drawing people into my passion too. But again, it can be too intense to people at some levels, and it can cause them their greatest fears to get triggered. And instead of drawing them in, we end up pushing them away. So instead of making it like the convincing business or the network marketing business, it's literally, I'm in the people business, and I've been in the people business for a very long time, like in whatever work I do. And it seems like you're the same, like you love the results you get, but it's about finding the ones who are triggered by the same things, who might be anxious or nervous of what people are saying. It's like, hey man, like I literally I was there.
But people don't believe that sometimes, like they think,
Totally.
oh, you're doing what you're
You
doing.
made
You're
it.
so outspoken. Yeah, you can say this and you can say that. I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Last night was my first live in our business where I got to speak with a few other incredible leaders. Yay. And we got to say a bit of our story. We got to give, the other mentors some tips and tricks, and I got to speak about, balancing that work life and mum life. And that was my first live. And I didn't even think it was a live. I just thought, I get to talk to people. They don't see me, but I get to talk to them. They're watching me. So I don't see them, but they're watching me.
Yes.
And then we finished, and I was like, hang on a minute. I've just done my first live. I've never done a live. I've always been too scared to do lives, the anxiety about doing a live. And I've just gone and done it without even realizing.
Yeah, girl.
So really, I can do a live now. And it's not about how many people are watching, because on Facebook and Instagram these days, people watch replays. They don't sit there and watch. A lot of people on TikTok, they will sit there and watch the live because you can't save it. So they're making the time to watch it. But Instagram and Facebook, you can upload the live later on. So people would prefer to watch the replay.
Love
so
that.
For me, I always worried about, oh my God, nobody's going to watch me. I'm going to have 0 people watching and nobody's going to interact. And I thought, you know what? At the end of the day, everybody watches replays. So for me, if nobody's watching, at least I'm getting, at least if one person watches, or if one person even watches the replay, I've got that one person I've, experienced things in, I've, blessed with my knowledge that might not even be something to one person, but everything to another person.
Totally.
So you just need that one person and you could change their life forever. So for me,
that one person starts with you, like you doing it for you, because social media and the way the world is run these days, it trains you for instant gratification. So it's like, oh, nobody's on my live. I've gone live multiple times, and you have people pop in and pop out. You're doing it for you. And there's that part of you that wants to check it and go, how many likes am I getting here? Anybody like commenting? And it's like, why am I looking for that? If I'm perpetually doing this for a response, then
you'll get nowhere.
Yes. And you'll continually be looking to different people to how to train it to that person or that person. It's like, do it for you, be quirky, be weird, be serious. Who cares? Like somebody is going to resonate with you. And the more you do it and the more comfortable you get with yourself and kind of have that I don't care attitude, like I don't care about you personally or anything, but it's like, I don't care what you think of me attitude.
I will do it anyway.
100%. Yes. I love it.
I definitely agree with you. It's something you need. And it's been a struggle for me, like I've not always been like that, and I'm still not 100% there.
Yeah.
But when you get that little bit closer every day, that one little step, be proud, celebrate the small wins.
I love that, girl.
If you're not celebrating the small wins about yourself, how can you celebrate small wins about anybody else? Or how can they celebrate with you?
Yeah.
Because if they're not seeing it, why should they do it if you aren't?
I love everything you've said so far in terms of, it incorporates a holistic approach to health, and, you've got the product side of it, but we resonate clearly on a connection between like personal development and growth. And I would love to hear who your teachers and mentors either have been and still are, and what resources and books you would recommend in terms of like, we'll kind of wrap it up with that question. Like, resources can be podcasts or books or whatever.
So for me, jumping into the business, the fat business, my uplines were my parents. So for me, my mentors were them, because if I needed anything, I could go to them. But outsourcing, the founders of our company, their name are Terry and Sam. They are both incredible women. If you need something within the business, go to them and they will light up your life. They know, Terry especially, she knows a lot about network marketing. She's very good. But for me, I love listening to Fraser Brooks, and I love listening to Jessie Lee Ward, and I love listening to like YouTube quotes and motivation from Tony Robbins. He's incredible.
Yes.
For me, getting on and watching Jessie Lee Ward's lives, her IGTVs, they're just really inspiring. And podcast wise, for me, I listen to a lot. I'm going to keep saying Jessie Lee because I just listen to her all the time. But even just motivational podcasts, it doesn't even have to be a specific person. It could just be a motivational playlist.
Yes.
And you can just listen to it over and over. Or I believe, like, I love the universe and that everything happens for a reason. And for me, there's an American girl whose podcast is Manifestation Babe. She is so real. It's so great. And again, she says it how it is. And, people don't like her because she will swear in her podcasts.
Yeah, I do all the time.
For me, I love that. I'm so real. Like, give me an F word.
Yes.
Like, we're Australian.
Right.
What kind of person are we without the F word? But for me, she's quite real and she's really motivating. I follow her on Instagram as well. And for me, I just love the push. Like, I love that. It's like, I don't know it's that particular voice where you can just be like, yeah, I vibe with you. 100%. I will keep listening to you, especially with motivational podcasts. I literally just search in Spotify motivational or motivational speeches. I will click on whoever is first and I will just listen. And that like echoey voice that they have,
I know.
I love that.
And I'm like, are you all black? Like, I know that I'm not racist, but I'm like, why do you sound like you have an epic black voice that I am going to aspire to get by, I don't know, by the end of my lifetime here. Get shit done. Yeah. It's like, but when I speak, it sounds like an Aussie. It's like, Bogan. Okay, cool. Moving on, guys.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, for me, Jessie Lee Ward, female wise, she's really incredible when it comes to network marketing. I would really give her a follow, give her a watch.
I will.
She's she's incredible. And a lot of my motivation comes behind that because, again, people don't vibe with her, but I do.
Yep.
Like, I love the way she talks and I love the way, she goes about everything because she was never not wealthy, but she did like 3 part-time jobs, I think it was. So, she had money. Yeah. She wasn't poor, but she lived in a basement, and the person who the landlord said like, you've got to pay an extra $300 for your rent. So she went and did network marketing to make $300 to pay for her rent. Now she saw the money come in and she said, oh no, I want to do more and more and more. And now she's one of the number 1 entrepreneurs in the world and number 1 in her company.
Isn't it inspiring? It's like, yes, like, I'm going to model that shit.
Me in the bum. Yes. Yeah. And, we're obviously both very different people.
Yeah.
But she jumped on our Zoom and she spotted me out straight away because I had Luca on my lap. And I was trying to like settle him. He was a bit grizzly. And she goes, oh my God, I'm going to cry. Look at Emily. She's got that baby, like her baby. And she's a mum in this, network marketing. And I was like, she just spotted me out because I'm a mum in network marketing. That just says it all.
Yeah.
If I can be a mum in network marketing, how many other mums want to be in network marketing but are afraid? Because it is a big jump. It's hard work.
People in general, it's like, that initial, what the hardest part in it is getting your mindset around it, that it's not a bad thing. That's the biggest leap, because you don't see results straight away most of the time. And it usually is like such a huge career shift if you want to even look at it like a career. Do you know what I mean? Because I aim to get to the point where it's lifestyle for me. Like my other little job that I'm doing at the moment, it's like, that's work. This other stuff, I put more time and what other people might define as work, but that's like, I love that shit. Like I could work midnight to midnight, Monday to Sunday doing it because I love it. And, the other stuff that we're defined by time and we're defined by wage and we're defined by our boss, it's like, that's work.
You are your boss in this though. I'm my own boss.
Yep. 100%.
Which is great. And for me, as saying I love is, if not me, who, and if not now, when.
Yes.
Because that's what our life is about. If you don't take that leap, nobody's going to do it for you. So you're going to always sit back wondering.
100%.
And what kind of life is that? Like for me, that was me until I took that, the step. And I wouldn't even say mine was a jump, because I didn't jump. I thought I gradually stepped into it. So I took that step. And for me, that I live by that saying now. I say it to all my mentees. I say it to all of them, because they need to sit back and think, or if especially the ones that are a bit, hesitant or sitting on the fence, because yes, you have to buy supplements. Yes, it does cost money.
Yeah.
But what lifestyle is free that is going to help you lose weight? Because in one way or another, you are going to spend money to lose weight, whether it's food shopping, whether it's, buying products, whether it's going to hospital and getting, the gastric sleeve. You are paying money. And the saying goes, if you can spend $5 a day on your coffee, then you can put $5 away a day to benefit your health. So that for me is like a juggle, because people don't understand that. That's where, especially with network marketing as well, if you can spend $5 a day on coffee, you can spend $5 a day on something else that's going to benefit your lifestyle.
100%. I love that, Em. And like, I just feel like, I feel already like we've been mates forever. And I'm so excited for us to be able to catch up in person and like hug each other, for me to meet your little son and your partner. And I already can feel that is going to happen. But for other people who are in different parts of the state that are listening, who are wherever, watching, whenever, where can people find you, and what's the best method of contact for you?
So I am on both Facebook and Instagram. My Facebook is just Emily Separovic. It is a hard one.
I will include in the show notes all of your details.
There you go.
Anyway.
Don't have to say my last name. And my Instagram is at Emily Separovic _. I do have a personal Instagram, that's just Emily Separovic, but that's just personal wise. My business and everything is Emily Separovic _ I am on Instagram and Facebook. I have just started TikTok. Not the best, but we're getting there.
I think my sister onto you.
Yeah, I think I am at Emily Separovic as well on TikTok.
Cool.
But I am contactable on Instagram and Facebook. I love people connecting. And that's why when you first jumped out, I was like, oh my God, I must be doing something right. Somebody has found me that I don't know. And she's contacted me. Like, I was like, woohoo!
Nailing it.
Yeah, well, I thought, if I don't do this, then how else am I going to, uplift myself?
Yes.
Because if I say no, then I'm telling the universe that I'm not good enough, and the universe won't reciprocate and give me back what I need.
And I'm so proud of you for leveling up. Like, so many people on this are like, I've been thinking about doing this, or, oh, it really makes me nervous, I'm in. And I'm like, you are my people. Like, this is so cool because it's taking uncomfortable action, and that's going to look very different to me. I'm sort of a, like, you know, it's scary, but like your scary is different to mine. You've taken scary action steps that you define as crawling or walking, but really we're all flying to that next point of like, crap, like this feels like a different me. And, you know, I think with my first episode, it was on decisions or excuses. The actual word making a decision, that like suffix part of the word, like scission, means cutting off. So essentially it means cutting off a part of yourself that, you know, might have been your old thinking, or it could even be old friends that you're disconnecting with. Like, this means no more friends or people judging me. And it's like, if you're willing to want to level up, you have to be willing to face the next like devil at the new level. Do you know what I mean? Of like, and that's your own triggers and fears and that.
And, you know, some of those people in your life will not level up with you because they are on a different level, and you've got to be okay with that.
Absolutely.
Because the people you're meant to be surrounded by will gravitate towards you.
100%.
Like-minded people will gravitate. And that's why, you know, the universe has put us together, because you found me, and, you know, you connected with me because we're on a similar level, you know. And if I didn't take that jump, I wouldn't know what would have happened.
I'm just loving it. And again, thank you so much for your time and your energy, but not just that. I really thank you for the value that you've added to my life, like just in terms of a friendship, but the information. And I know that there are going to be mamas listening to this, families, men, women, kids, I don't know what the potential is. And I think that anybody, everybody, and I think that is so cool. And that's the power of technology. So thank you, Emily. And I look forward to staying in contact with you and hearing how your business is going, and, you know, keeping each other accountable in the work that we both do. And you will more than likely be a resource that I can hand people over of, oh, I've got someone who has a similar story to you, like meet Emily, and connecting that. And so I feel like that is a huge mission of mine, to kind of be a walking mycelium in a way of like that connection.
Yeah. And the power of social media is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, like you connect, you don't even have to see somebody, just connect with them.
100%.
You know, you don't know what somebody's going through. So you could potentially save somebody's life just by messaging them. You never know.
You just don't know.
Well, thank you for having me also. This has been incredible. My first ever podcast.
Look at you go.
Incredible.
So first live yesterday. Podcast. Boom. Who knows what tomorrow she'll do? She'll probably be speaking on, I don't know. I don't even know what's on TV anymore. She'll probably be hosting Netflix. Let's be real.
Maybe. We'll see about that. Got to get